What's up, everyone? This is Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new AK Afro Soul review episode for today. This one's going to be on a new film that just came out today in 2022, in which this film we've been waiting for 2 years since the pandemic, in which this film is now finally out after facing a lot of delays due to the pandemic. And today's review is going to be on the 2022 superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character. And I just got back from seeing this film just a couple of hours ago, and I'm here to review this film. And this film I'm here to talk to you guys about is, of course, Morbius. So Morbius, this comes to us from the director of Life, which was released back in 2017, starring Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Rebecca Ferguson. And so the story of the film is that we follow this doctor named Michael Morbius, played by Jared Leto, in which we learn his childhood that he had his rare blood disease that has affected his entire life since he was a child. And he has this special talent in which he helps people who have been fighting diseases. And basically he's been trying to find a cure to basically help him fight against this rare blood disease he's been facing since he was a kid. However, for the serum that he takes, which he made part of his experiment, it goes terribly wrong. And it gives him this ability where he transforms into a vampire. And he, like a bloodthirsty vampire, and then he goes out killing off bad guys one by one, fanning out their blood, until one of his old friends that he's known when he was a kid, named Milo, played by Matt Smith, he's been fighting this disease as well. He's been fighting his disease since he was a kid, and he has never found a cure for it until he finds the serum that Michael Morbius has created, and he gets the serum infected inside of his body, and he also gets the ability of becoming a vampire. And so these two friends then become enemies, and we see Morbius has to do whatever he can to basically stop his old friend Milo from becoming a vampire and killing everyone. So that's pretty much the story of Morbius. So back in 2020, I first saw the trailer for this film, and I was actually looking forward to this movie because I heard this character is based on one of the villains from my favorite superheroes of all time, which is Spider-Man. And, this film was originally scheduled for July of 2020, then it got delayed for March of last year, then pushed to November, then got delayed again to January this year, and then they got delayed one more time for April this year. And I was hoping this film would actually stay for its release date, because I didn't want to see it delayed, because I thought if it did that, this film would have never seen the light of day. And I even said that to the New Mutants as well, whenever that was going to come out, until it's finally out already. I thought that was never going to see the light of day, but I was still happy to see that it was finally released in a cinema back in 2020, when 2020 wasn't a great year, really. And there was a few reasons I was looking forward to it. It was because of the cast. Jared Leto, I think he's talented. I think he's a pretty talented actor. Matt Smith, he's a pretty good actor. And Tyrese Gibson, I think he's a pretty fun actor. There was not much other people who I knew who were in this movie other than just those three main actors. And the director, I never seen Life, which that's the only film I know he's directed, but I haven't seen that film. I haven't heard much reviews for that, but I do fancy seeing it though. But I went to see this today on the 1st of April in a pretty packed screening. And after seeing this film, was this really worth the wait? You betcha. This movie was really worth the wait, alongside No Time to Die, A Quiet Place Part 2, and Dune, and other films that I thought were worth the wait for last year. And I've got nothing else to say other than I think this film is absolutely perfection here. And I think this is definitely better than No Way Home and Shang-Chi for sure, because I think those two movies are kind of overrated in my opinion, since I keep hearing much people talk about those. But actually, I think I should just give you guys my rating of what I did think of this film. I'm going to give Morbius a 5 out of 5. Wait. I'm just kidding. That was an April Fool's joke here. Let me take it back and let me tell you what is my personal opinion on Morbius. After I saw this film, I just walked out of the screening, in a pretty packed screening after seeing this film unfortunately really wasn't worth the wait, alongside No Time to Die, A Quiet Place Part 2, or even Dune, or any other film that was really worth the wait last year. Because unfortunately for this film, I really do not like this movie. This has got to be another really bad comic book film I've seen alongside Batman and Robin, or Fan Stake, or any other terrible comic book film out here. I'm surprised to say that, because I'm just genuinely shocked of I'm just genuinely shocked of how bad this film was, which I've got to get everything off me back here of what I have to say about Morbius. Jared Leto, who of course plays Morbius, the main character in the film, I kind of found his performance pretty much bland and uninteresting. Well, I wouldn't say I don't know if I would say it is as worse than his own take of the Joker in Suicide Squad back in 2016, which till this day some people are kind of divisive with his performance as the Joker. I'm kind of a bit divisive, but here for Morbius, I kind of found his performance pretty much bland and uninteresting, and he couldn't save anything at all for what he was given for this movie. And as for everyone else in the film, you got Matt Smith. I kind of found his performance not great. Tyrese Gibson as well. Everyone else, I kind of think their performance really wasn't that great to save for this movie whatsoever. And the direction and the editing in this film, I found both of them together really, really bad here in this movie. Like, it's mostly due to the action sequences, which I kind of found them pretty dark, and it was hard to see what was going on screen. Because it's mostly due to the effects in this film, which they were really messy for the effects of Morbius and Milo in the film, which I found those effects there really messed up, as well as even for mostly the dust effects and all that. When we do see them either fly or jump off from rooftops to rooftops, I kind of found that really messy, and it was really hard to see what was going on when we do see them fighting together, in the dark and all that. I kind of found that really messed up, really. And it also kind of focuses on slow motion effects as well, which they weren't even that good. It's just repetitive, and it was hard to see what was going on as well. We see them fighting and then slow motion and then fighting, slow motion again. It's mostly like that in this film, which I found it really bad. And also the storytelling in this film was really, really uninteresting for the whole origin story of Michael Morbius, because there were some parts of it I just found really boring, as well as for other subplots in the film, like Milo, when we see him as a friend, but then he turns into enemy once he becomes a vampire, and then for other things as well, which I found really uninteresting. And other than that, there was nothing really that could save this movie, unfortunately, because this film was a really huge letdown for myself, because again, I really wanted to like this film since this is part of the Spider-Man universe, since this character is based on the Spider-Man universe. And I'm really sad to say, it really breaks my heart that this is gotta be another bad film of 2022. And like I said, this movie really wasn't worth the wait, alongside other films that we've been waiting for since last year. And there's no ways I could really recommend this film, because again, this film I found pretty much really bad, and I just got nothing else to say other than this film, it was just awful for myself. And you guys probably know what I'm going to give this movie, but if you don't, here it goes. Morbius is the third film for 2022 to get this rating, which this film deserves a 0.5 star out of 5. I just can't believe how bad this movie was. And this is another bad experience for me to see a movie I was looking forward to seeing, but ended up letting me down here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After Show review on Morbius. I'm really curious to know what you guys really thought of it. If you've just recently seen it, did you had a blast with this film, or were you massively disappointed with this film? Just thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews. I'm really looking forward to seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, I will do a review on the first film before I go and see the sequel, so stay tuned for that. And again, just thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews. And as always, this is Ben Foggins Media Corner signing off.